Dems greenlight violence. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, as if Texas hasn't had enough to deal with, today, gunfire outside a Border Patrol facility.
Border Patrol agents returned fire and subsequently neutralized, that is, killed the person that had opened fire upon that building. There were many dozens of rounds fired by the suspect towards the building and towards agents in that building.
Now, no federal agents were shot, but a local police officer was hit and is in stable condition. And there was another violent attack on Thursday outside an ICE facility in North Texas when an Alvarado police officer, he was shot in the neck. Multiple people fired shots from the crowd. Several are in custody.
Authorities say Alvarado police responded to the facility in reference to a suspicious person and observed someone appearing to carry a gun. They say one of the officers tried to engage with that person, and that's when multiple suspects opened fire on the officer. The injured officer was taken to a hospital, treated, and later released, and multiple suspects were arrested in connection to the shooting.
When Americans wonder how things got so violent on the left, they should know that the main culprits are the media and the Democrat Party. Now, remember when they set up that creepy staging at Independence Hall for Joe to scare everybody?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. The Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And ABC, right before the election, even did a poll about it. Ooh, half the country thinks Trump's a fascist. Now, for years and years, right up until present day, they have done everything they could to convince young people that ours is a racist, dangerous, evil country and that we shouldn't be proud of it. How many commencement addresses have begun with, "I first want to say that we're living on stolen land"? So annoying. And if the country is so intrinsically evil, then the law enforcement it deploys to protect that country must be evil as well, in the illogical, logical thinking. Well, that's what the squad wants you to think. Sitting members of Congress, like Congresswoman Jayapal, saying that ICE is lawless and acting like a terrorist force, that it's kidnapping people, including American citizens. It's not only defamatory, it's deeply dangerous. Why? Well, because what would you do if a terrorist is kidnapping people on American soil? You would stop him, wouldn't you? By any means necessary. We saw this with not one, but two assassination attempts on Donald Trump. And while we still know precious little about those shooters, Thomas Crooks and Ryan Roth, we know the unprecedented level of hate and the lies that have been directed at Trump and his supporters for over a decade. They're hanging out there, and unstable people, they take it all as gospel. Even otherwise reasonable people, if they're led to believe by trusted news and political sources that Trump is truly evil and that he's truly a fascist country, then isn't armed rebellion the only answer? That deranged individual wearing full tactical gear who tried to ambush the Border Patrol today in McAllen, Texas, apparently thought so. Now, this is what Democrats knew would happen. They knew it, and yet they never tamped down the rhetoric. Not after city blocks were burned during the Floyd riots. Not after the Trump assassination attempts. Instead, they kept spewing the same lies, encouraging confrontations with law enforcement.
Some of the most inspiring things have been when people encircle courtrooms and refuse to allow ICE agents in. There are all kinds of nonviolent resistance tactics that we have to use.
She throws in the nonviolent resistance lingo as cover, but we know that she knows what she's doing. Democrats' choice of language, though, is deliberate. Listen closely, and it's coordinated.
Masked agents of the state in unmarked vehicles are terrorizing communities. They are disappearing people.
That's the stuff of authoritarian states. The combination of these Gestapo-like tactics.
This is actually about Donald Trump building modern-day concentration camps in an effort to disappear people from our communities.
I'd like to disappear your lies. And of course, the legacy media, they're always in sync with the Democrats, of course. portraying ICE as criminals who need to be punished and the illegals as victims who need to be protected. CNN even promoted a nifty little app that acts as an early warning system for illegals who are trying to evade capture.
You open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map to report an ICE sighting in their area. And then everybody who uses the platform within 5 miles of that sighting will get a push alert.
Facilitating criminality, aiding and abetting criminals. That's how much they loathe the United States. The radicals are clearly calling the shots here, literally. Axios talked to a number of Democrats and is now reporting that, quote, the grassroots wants more. Some of them have suggested what we really need to do is be willing to get shot when visiting ICE facilities or federal agencies. A House Democrat told Axios, be willing to get shot. This is insane, people. They now want martyrs. Martyrs for open borders. Martyrs to abolish ICE. They're total fanatics. And even when they don't call for violence, they know that the logical reaction to what they're alleging is violence. It's a twisted, dangerous game. So when will this end? Where's the adult in the room urging Democrats to tamp down the rhetoric, stick to arguing policy? Where are the liberal wise men waving off the activists harassing ICE officers? It's only a matter of time before someone else gets killed. And Democrats will then try to use aha, we told you so. The truth is, only a catastrophic series of political losses is going to convince Democrats to stop this. But as for President Trump, we've been hearing some rumors that establishment types are pushing him hard to cut some Bush-like amnesty deal for the illegals that remain here. Now, you can imagine rich donors in places like L.A., right, are calling President Trump, burning up the phone lines because they need to hire new housekeepers or landscapers. They don't want to have to do that. They want to keep their old landscapers and housekeepers. But most of those donors were Jeb Bush supporters in 2016.
The president just described America as the hottest country in the world. It's a hot Trump summer. The fireworks are over, but the country's still celebrating. Can't leave the table when you're on a heater. After Iranian strikes, a Gaza ceasefire, record low gas in Alligator Alcatraz, Trump topped off his week with the big, beautiful bill, signed it on America's birthday, and even got a gift.
Mr. President, this is the gavel we use to enact the big, beautiful bill, and I want you to have that for your
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Are you ready? Yeah.
But that wasn't even the highlight of the weekend. Melania did the YMCA. It wasn't just fireworks and dancing. The Senate Majority Leader celebrated the signing with one big, beautiful backflip. You think Schumer could do that? Secretary Hegseth celebrated by working out with our men and women in uniform. And if you can see here, Laura Trump's doing burpees and lunges. Everyone's trying to get that summer beach bod, especially because next summer, America turns 250. Trump's going to turn the White House into the Coliseum. He's bringing the Octagon to Washington.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great day in the world? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal.
Getting front row seats won't be cheap. And if you're from a foreign country, you better come through with a good deal, like a trade deal. Trump's mailbox is full of them.
We are going to have several announcements in the next 48 hours. My mailbox was full last night with a lot of new offers, a lot of new proposals. So it's going to be a busy couple of days.
Trump cut a trade deal with Vietnam over the holiday, and now other countries are on edge because the clock's ticking. The president sent out 14 letters today telling countries that he's raising tariffs on them because he doesn't like what he sees. Japan and South Korea are getting slapped with 25% duties. For anyone whining, the White House says they're just fixing a mess. Foreign leaders are coming to the White House and nominating him for Nobels. Watch.
He's forging peace as we speak in one country and one region after the other. So I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, Bibi.
Democrats aren't trying to fix anything. Look at Hakeem. While Republicans were passing the big, beautiful bill and backflipping into lakes, Hakeem's posting up on a park bench trying to look hard with a chain. And look at the bench planks behind him. They're all squiggly. See that? That means he photoshopped himself to look skinny. Hakeem's trying to shrink his hips like a Kardashian. Kamala edited her 4th of July photo, too. She cropped Biden right out. So you just see her and Dougie fresh. Kamala's not having the best Independence Day. Things are hard right now and probably going to get worse before they get better. Obama also lost the joy. Instead of sucking down lobster rolls at the Vineyard, Barry's complaining. Independence Day is a reminder that America is not the project of any one person. America is owned by no one. Hollywood also spent the 4th in mourning, and some of them aren't even in the country. Irish Rosie's calling for another revolution.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. Come on, America. Keep going. Happy 4th of July. This is a sad day in American history.
Democrats are just sore because they always get it wrong. Trump got tariffs with no inflation, Iran denuked with no war, and the Supreme Court said deport all you want. The big, beautiful bill has tax relief, border wall funding, and drill, baby, drill. But Democrats are hysterical that the bill's going to cut freebies, all because people have to prove they're working to get handouts. But Democrats don't think their base can fill out paperwork.
It is a group of Democrats who unfortunately seem to think that poor people are stupid. I don't think poor people are stupid. I think they have agency, and I think to have them register twice a year for these benefits that is not a burden. But these people who want to infantilize the poor and those who need these Medicaid benefits are alarmist.
Democrats think their voters are too dumb to fill out a form. Same with voter ID. It's simple. I fill out a form when I get a massage. But they'd rather just whine than do their jobs. They want to blame Trump for everything. Need more proof? Look at Texas. Over 100 dead in a flood, and rescue teams are still looking for survivors. But guess who Democrats are blaming?
The incident comes as the Trump administration is making deep cuts to weather forecasting services.
We're also learning that there were significant staffing shortfalls of the National Weather Service's offices in the region.
When the president guts all of the early warning systems and the weathering forecast abilities of the government, these are the results that we're going to start to see on a daily basis.
They're blaming DOJ for dead little girls. Schumer's even calling for an investigation. But the Associated Press, not a right-wing publication, says the left's lying. Not only were they fully staffed at the National Weather Service, they even added extra staff before the flood. The White House says Democrats should be ashamed of themselves.
Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. So to any person who has deliberately lied about these facts surrounding this catastrophic event, you should be deeply ashamed.
Primetime's praying for these families and also for the great state of Texas.
Stop it. I hope you had a great 4th, and it's nice to see that you kept most of your fingers. Good evening, everyone. So Joe Biden was seen struggling to set up a beach chair on July 4th weekend. It's not his fault. He's not used to a seat without a hole in the center of it. On the 4th of July, Kamala Harris posted, quote, "Things are probably going to get worse before they get better." That's also how she starts her speaking engagements. A leaked memo shows Biden aides wanted an early debate to reach the widest audience possible. They also wanted to hire the widest hosts possible. Because they're fat. Over the weekend, the rapper known as 4Extra lost 2 fingers in a fireworks accident. He's now changed his name to 3 Left. The good news is he's no longer throwing up gang signs. The FBI concluded that Jeffrey Epstein was not murdered in prison. They came to this realization after consulting with the expert medical examiner. Not even putting it in a white coat. Carnival Cruise Lines is facing backlash over new rules, like a 15-drink limit. No playing of loud music or smoking marijuana. Now, some claim that these rules unfairly impact black passengers. Others dispute the claim, saying the policies equally impact Puerto Ricans. But wow, 15 drinks? I mean, some black people say that's just a warm-up. Yeah, she's a lush. President Trump says he wants to have a UFC fight at the White House on the next 4th of July. Well, I'll start auditioning ring girls, said one man. And finally, Ozzy Osbourne reunited with Black Sabbath to play his final live concert ever. The highlight was when he bit the head off an old bat. All right. You can't go wrong. So back in 2009, Zoran Mammi, or whatever, the Socialist Democrat nominee for New York City's mayor, identified as black or African American when he applied to Columbia University. I guess there was no box for trust fund communist douchebag. But it didn't work. He didn't get in. He probably shouldn't have included a referral letter from this lady. But now, Zoran says he doesn't consider himself black at all. I guess it was that Justin Trudeau kind of black, where you just wipe it off at the end of the day. But it raises the often ignored question. How can you claim to be oppressed when you know the claim gets preferential treatment? I mean, why would anyone voluntarily choose an identity that supposedly holds you back unless you knew it could actually move you forward? So he saw the grift, using a false disadvantage to actually get ahead. He was lying to get what he wanted, like when I used to tell women that I love them. He wasn't confused, he was calculating. Mamdani knew that applying while black could be a ticket past the velvet rope of Ivy League admissions. And that was in 2009. Since then, identity politics has exploded into a full-blown access pass for corporations, schools, girls' locker rooms. So with one stroke of the pen, this privileged progeny of Hollywood and academia tried to leapfrog over everyone else. And that's Mamdani's background. Dad's a professor, mom's a director, both Indian, making him Indian. Because he was born in Uganda, Yes, born and not descended from. He checked the black box. That's like claiming you're Hispanic because your mom went into labor at Taco Bell. The hot sauce will do it to you. But hell, even Uganda doesn't consider him Ugandan. You need Ugandan ancestry for that. So why didn't he just say what he was? Well, Indian Americans have the highest median household income in the U.S. I know. I didn't know Uber drivers made that kind of money.
Oh, racist would say.
And you're racist for laughing. But being of Indian heritage isn't a resume builder when you're auditioning for the Oppression Olympics. So he pulls a Kilmeade, faking a limp so he can board first on Delta. But you notice it's always the lefties who pull this kind of shit? Their thinking is, we created this game, might as well take advantage of it. So he dumped his past and he picked the one that carries social capital. Still, he didn't get in, which means his transcript had so many D's in it, it looked like Governor Pritzker's bra. Guess he'll never get that degree in advanced flag burning. Now, you could call his lie a youthful indiscretion, but his entire brand is built on exploiting the very system he gained back then. He peddles victimhood and scolds America while living off its generosity. Sound familiar? It should. His campaign is pure progressive pablum: identity politics, open borders, Palestine cheerleading, and trans activism. And the act is simple: use the system to destroy the system. Today's left uses asylum laws to flood the country, then calls you cruel when you resist. They use free speech to defend movements that seek to cancel free speech. And they use the Americans with Disabilities Act to defend Joe Biden. They take advantage of every loophole America offers, then attack the very values that created those openings. This kind of lefty is like a bank robber who holds customers hostage to guarantee his own freedom. He understands that in our system, we care about hostages, and he grifts our compassion. So it's not about leading. Leftists want to dismantle, then control. But they're smart enough to do it from the inside, aping the oppressed while chasing the privileges and power of the elite. And when we say they're going to collapse the system with awful ideas, they say, exactly.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.